People. Que pasa, sakpa, say what they do. First thing that is popping in the news, it is about a very unfortunate, devastating incident in which a family of a little girl, less than 2-year-old, lost her life. I think 1 year, 11 months to be specific. I am going to let the family member explain what happened, and I want you to tell me if you think that it is negligence, if you think that a lot of these doctors, nurses, the whole medical system in Jamaica needs to be revamped, because we see that a lot of persons have been losing their life, losing limbs, losing all sorts of sanity because of the treatment or lack thereof that they receive in our medical facility, read hospital, mostly public hospitals. So people, I am going to let the family member explain what happened and how this little child lost her life, and then I'll give my piece.
True, boss. Thank you for the platform. This pertains to a child, a baby, 1 year, 11 months, who would have been 2 years old coming 17th of May. She was tragically, sadly passed at the Children's Hospital on the 22nd of April 2022 due to, my estimation, negligence on the doctor's part, because they knew the history of the child, because the child had developed a condition called the microhydrocephalus after birth, and she was rushed there because she was too irritable. She was about 2 weeks old, and she was rushed there. They said it was good that we observed that something was wrong and took her in, because it was very early and they detected it. So hydrocephalus is where the cerebral spinal fluid that goes through the brain and the body, which is good fluid, does not pass out, it's secreted, and then it causes a build-up in the head. They said that the build-up could have caused her brain to be crushed, and it could cause death and damage. So it was good that we took her there. So remember, there's a history that you know, but she spent about 3 months in the hospital. Fine. Now this year, remember that was in her first 3 months of life. Now this year, the child went back to the hospital on the 21st of April 2022 because she had a bout of vomiting and she hadn't eaten about 2 days, not much. So the mother took her in. She was there the week before with fever. So then you were inside. The doctor said she's back again. She says yes, she has a vomiting thing and she hasn't eaten. They asked her some question about the big thing that's going on in the world, and even though they still put her in a room for observation. Fine. This observation lasted from 1 p.m. until after 11 p.m. at night. So a baby with this condition was placed without any kind of treatment there. And what happened is that she said at 1:47, she said to them, baby hasn't eaten, so she said, no, you can't get her anything. What I'm going to do something intravenous. So she was put a drip, fine, and a medicine in it. She said, what's the medicine for? They told her it was to have her pass her stool. She wasn't passing her stool. Okay, good. No, she said that after 7, the baby stiffened in her hand. The other person was there, called the doctor, and they came in. And they said she was having a seizure. Seizure is neurological. Fine. Okay. The baby came back around. A little oozy, but she came back around. Still in the mother's arms, still in this room. Until after 11, she was placed in Ward 6. The mother went home. At about 4:47, she was called. Come back to the hospital. The baby is no longer breathing on her own. Okay. You see the decline in health at the hospital. Anyway, she rushes there. There was a spot about 15,000 being paid for her to get a CT scan at UA. They were called and told, listen, this money's going to be paid. Don't make it be an issue. Get the baby done. They took her. So the mother called me. She called me and said, Mommy, which is what she called me, could you come here? Because I said, yeah, it's not going to make it. I said, what are you talking about? Anyway, I got some prayer rush there. And she said to me, do not go there because I'm at home now. So come for me at home so we can get to go there. Having gone there for her, she had 4 missed calls. And the 5th call was the hospital. They said, come now because the baby, come now, come quickly. 4 of us went there. 4 of us went on the ward. When I saw the baby, I was upset. I screamed. I almost passed out. I was given a chair. We were taken to a room. We were told that the CAT scan had revealed that there was no activity in the brain. And so they called. I said, why did you call us? We were supposed to come and sit at the baby at the bedside while the baby, whatever. I said, why the baby died? In these times, these barbaric acts are supposed to happen. In these modern times, they want to sit and watch a baby die. When their machine, she can't go on to facilitate her. Well, you know, we called up by you. when we went to you said they can't facilitate her, and the ones down here can't take her. I said, who decides who goes on the machine? Does she have a particular name? Right? And I called two affluent Jamaican names. Affluent family Jamaican names. Right? Seemed to have this grudge with her because over time the father was called and was being talked to when he was walking away. Her retort was, so it doesn't matter if she's those names or Donald Trump granddaughter, there is no space, to which I retorted, but that's not important right now. Anyway, the doctor was there pumping this because of manual pumping. I giving her oxygen. While the doctor was pumping, she said to a nurse who asked her a question, I didn't hear the question, I'm going to stop this at 3:26. Should have been half an hour to the time. So I said, you're going to stop what? I'm talking to the nurse. I said, he's talking about this, that. He's talking to me. And me being there, it wasn't stopped because I said, listen, get her on a machine. It doesn't matter what it costs. We'll play it. Get her on a machine. There's no place for her in the machine, and we can't put her in the machine. And I said, she's not going to die. I will pump. The mother will pump. The father will pump. We will pump. We'll all pump until she gets on the machine. Fine. Okay. I kept going out intermittently outside, trying to call my doctor to ask him about the condition, to speak to him about the situation. Fine. So nothing was done while I was in there. So it was about after 5 when I had just stepped out to speak. And when I came back in, I saw that there was no more pumping going on. And I saw the instrument with the vitals that were showing, and they were still up. And I'm saying, I saw the bag and I said, why is it off? It was taken off the machine. Right? So there was no more pumping to give her any oxygen. So I said, why is this happening? Get her on the machine. We will pay. We'll pay. It's not about the money. There is no space. So I said, who decides who goes on the machine? It's the baby who, because of your negligence, she is or has suffered brain damage. Her brain is damaged and she'll be a vegetable. I said, I don't care. Give her the chance to be that. Because I know persons who have been on things for brain damage. And they have come back to being working and being very Jamaicans or people who have the faculties together. So give the baby a chance. Fine. I mean, it was falling on deaf ear. It was falling on deaf ear because as these doctors don't realize that nursing and doctor is a calling. It's a calling that you do with a passion, with empathy, with compassion. So it has to be something that you are drawn to, you are made to do, because if you don't have empathy, it's not going to work. Anyway, we're there and it's on empty ear, right? We are watching this baby who they have caused this damage to her head because of negligence, because of not acting on the situation, because they could have, because I know exactly what happened to this baby. I know. Okay, fine. No. We are sitting there crying, watching the vitals going down. The doctors are about as if nothing is happening. We're saying, put her on the machine. Put her on the machine. Okay? When her heartbeat flatlined, the mother jumped up and started pumping her heart. At this point, the heartbeat spiked again. And we wanted to know, can't you help this child? Can't you help this young 18-year-old mother who is fighting for a child? Everybody's shoulder went up to their head. They can't do anything about it. In these times of technology, these times of plenty and abundance, where it's government workers, the ministers who are lining their pocket with the funds from the purses of the tax-paying Jamaicans, right? And we sit back. So it is reflective of the society that we have. You understand? And don't wait until it comes to your doorstep that you understand what we went through. We had to, in these times, watch a baby who is not responding to anything die. We had to watch her go. We had to watch her as her beautiful pink lips became blue, and her palms and her soles of her feet became blue. And then she became cold to the touch. Okay? Now I'm saying, how many other layers, how many other materials are we going to allow this system of abundance that is not going where it should be to represent who it should represent? Why is our healthcare in this kind of shambles? Why aren't we holding who are supposed to be held accountable? And how many other layers do we have to have? Because I'm getting so many stories. One of my friends' baby died some years ago. He would have been 5 now. From the same thing. They tell you that these babies must not be receive trauma to the head. They must not be cry too much. They must not whatever, because it will trigger that. And when you go on this ward 4, where these babies have the shunt system in their heads. When the parents are gone, these babies cry until they're blue, they cry until they vomit, they cry until they go back to sleep. That puts a pressure on the system that they implant in these children. And I had to sit. I'm sorry I stayed, because this will be indelible on my mind, on my emotions for the rest of my life. To watch in these times of a modern world, where technology is rife, that in our country, a baby is not afforded a position on the machine, and the doctors just moved around as if nothing happened. Well, this baby's beautiful lips, pink lips, became blue, her palms and her soul, and she was cold, and we hugged her and we kissed her and we cried out to her. And the mother started pulling off the things off her baby and said, take these tubes off. She's not going to go in the morgue with these tape residues on her face and all about. And I had to watch this young mother wipe that dead baby, wipe that baby who had passed, who they knew about, who they knew they should have taken different actions, because all of these things that were happening to the baby happens when the shunt system is malfunctioning. And nobody took her to neurology. Nobody did a test or an examination to see what was happening with the shunt. It wasn't until way in the morning, hours of this baby suffering, that was done. People, how many more materials are we going to allow the system? It's reflective on us as a society, that we protect our children. They have a right to life, just like the rich Jamaicans. The poor Jamaican children, they have a right to life. And we would have paid for this child to be on this machine. She would have been paid for. We need help. This needs to go out. It's an atrocity that should never be allowed to occur again.
Now, people, like I said, this lady spoke eloquently. She pretty much explained everything. However, what I have noticed with a lot of these nurses, doctors, persons in the medical field, they don't really have the patience for patients. So therefore, they don't have the characteristics, they don't have the temperament, they don't have the care and compassion that this job needs, this type of field needs. So I have to ask the question, is this negligence, incompetence, or is the medical field overwhelmed? Pretty much these employees are given basket for carry water. Now, people, like I said, one of the problem, or like she said, one of the problem is that with the Big C situation, it kind of makes everything more complicated. However, there's a thing that is called your judgment. There's a thing that is called common sense. So therefore, whenever there are unusual circumstances, be it emergency, you should act accordingly. However, what we've also come to notice is that money is always the motive. So therefore, the bigger your status, the bigger the name, you will get medical help ASAP. So people, like me say, there is no sort of excuse for this, because we're living in a medical information age. So therefore, there should have been no sorts of shortage as it pertains to machine that determines whether somebody lives or somebody loses their life. In this space, in this instance, we see the little young girl lose her life. And what is even more disturbing is that in a lot of these hospitals, there are no sorts of bed space. And people, we have seen instances in which people like Shaggy put up all sorts of charity, get all sorts of hundreds of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, and then we see all sorts of controversy about taxes. However, we've seen politicians for the last couple of decades, all sorts of corruption, all sorts of money that are supposed to use and be prioritized towards medical facility so people don't lose their life because of negligence, because of lack of machine. People, it makes absolutely no sorts of sense. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, that is my views on the whole thing as it pertains to that. And like me say, it is just my views and opinion. It is not the gospel. Your views and opinion can be respectfully different from mine. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Bless up.